Okay, I'm at the next web here, and I just wondered, should I make interviews with people? And I go, no, really, I talked to a lot of startups. It was really interesting, wonderful time. But in the last panel, in the hottest room of the whole conference, when it was tropical and people said we're in a sauna, there was this thing about AI, and is Europe going to be a good place for it? And I met Eoghen, and he works for the European Commission. He is also working at the Erasmus University. I'll tell him later, he has to introduce himself. But he made a pitch for Europe as a perfect place to basically have an AI company. Tell me a little bit about your background and how you're involved.
So I mean, 1 year ago, June last year, the Commission set up the AI office, which is within the Commission, which is responsible for the regulatory and non-regulatory side of AI in Europe.
Okay.
On the regulatory side, obviously, is the AI Act.
Yeah.
On the non-regulatory side, we have, for example, the funding that is being distributed to the supercomputing factories. We have a strategy that's coming out, the Apply AI, in September to stimulate uptake of AI in industrial verticals. Mm-hmm. So we have regulatory and non-regulatory actions.
Yeah. You have the carrot and the stick.
Okay, yeah, okay. Exactly. So the enforcement team, so it's a team of many talents, the AI office. We have, of course, lawyers. We have economists, political scientists, and engineers. I'm an engineer myself. Mm-hmm. We've now got a team of AI safety engineers who are working in the Commission to help us assess the risk and the capabilities of models. So it's a team of many talents to help the EU pursue activities and actions and legislation that will help
in a safe and responsible way.
And will help innovators to secure opportunities in the marketplace with AI-powered offerings, products, solutions.
Yeah. Okay. So that's and what is your role in there?
There's a policy coordination team where we have a helicopter view on what's happening, and I'm
okay. And what is your background? You say you're an engineer.
I did civil engineering.
Yeah.
I did a master's degree in environmental management. I worked in the food production industry, actually. Okay. And then I worked in IT, one of the big IT companies, before coming to the Commission.
Okay, great. So you have a good background in industry and thing. So, Eoghen, why are you make your pitch about why Europe is a good place for an AI company?
Well, if you look at this continent, let's talk talent. Let's talk AI engineers.
Yeah.
Europe, as a continent, per capita, has 30% more AI engineers than the US, 3 times more per capita than China. So when it comes to deployment of AI in industry,
talent,
we have it. Mm-hmm. We've got it. A key thing here is infrastructure, obviously, the ability to have access to compute power. And what's intriguing in Europe is when it comes to compute power as a public good, 19 of the world's top 60 supercomputing facilities are here in the EU.
And then you mean research or also data centers?
No, this is compute power, supercomputing centers.
Supercomputing,
right?
yeah. So.
And the supercomputing centers in Europe we've invested now billions of euros of EU funding into them to lift them up for the AI age in terms of GPUs,
and especially for research, right? Or also just to basically train the models.
Now, here's the beauty, not just for research. Those 9 supercomputing facilities we have been used traditionally and accessible to researchers in universities and research centers.
Yeah.
But we, in terms of the supercomputing centers on this continent that fall under this initiative, the Euro HPC.
Yeah.
Those supercomputing, now GPU-empowered facilities are accessible for free by startups. No charge, okay? So does this infrastructure compare to what the hyperscalers offer, for example, in the US? No. But as a public good,
for AI startups,
we are in a really good place.
Yeah.
Those startups, we have 7,000 AI startups in the EU, and I'm not counting the UK or Norway or Switzerland. Just in the 27 member states of the EU, we have 7,000.
Okay. How much does it compare to? Because every startup I now see has AI and then something, right? I mean, everybody's talking about AI now. So do they really do AI?
In terms of having a focus on AI, yes, it could be sectorial focus. AI for health, AI for public sector.
And that's necessary.
Which is necessary.
And that's necessary,
exactly.
But is it less or more than China or than America or how much is 7,000? I have no idea if it's.
I don't have the. I don't. Let's make an assumption here that there is more in the US and more in China.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's put that to the side for the moment. We have a core on this continent that is growing. We've got AI engineers per capita that is with a rich density. We've got the public good. We've also got legal certainty with the AI Act. If you're a startup in the AI game in the US, there's been legislation that has come out of the state capitals in California, Utah,
50
Texas.
states.
Now, there's talk at a federal level in the US of a moratorium on maybe that'll happen, maybe not.
And we have David Sachs. We have the AI Tsar, who is now basically starting. He basically came with the first federal legislation on coins, on stable coins. So it's starting. It is starting.
I don't know about individuals, but what I know is with the US, there's less certainty and clarity than in Europe. In Europe, we have one AI Act for 27 countries. And we, the Commission, are actively engaging with the community of stakeholders, including startups. I'm not here by accident. This is a very deliberate decision to engage in events like this and to speak, be it to people like you on the stage earlier today. So we're
and you say it's a competitive weapon to have a good, to have one legislation for the whole of Europe.
But what is the AI Act? The AI Act is a product safety regulation. The product safety regulations are a feature, not a bug, of a modern, developed economy. With product safety, because of product safety regulations, we have airplanes we are comfortable and safe to fly on, high-speed trains, medical devices. We have food factories that are producing food safely for mass consumption. We have escalators in metro stations that we're happy to get on without being worried about our toes being crunched in the process. And all of this is enriching our lives, making us live longer, healthier. It makes life more enjoyable. What the EU has done, we have decided that for this latest technology, AI, we're going to bring in product safety regulations. Nobody is criticizing product safety regulations in other industries. They're accepted, they're non-controversial, they make life better.
Okay, tell me, I mean, what everybody's afraid of, is that the AI Act is a really heavy regulation, which is a lot of work to comply with, and it is not clear. That's because everybody will interpret it their own way. That's a bunch of people where there was one entrepreneur said, "Hey, I'm a biologist. I'm making an AI for this. It's really a lot of work for me to figure out what do I have to comply with." I mean, is that too worried? And is that a view which people have, which the Americans are saying about Europe? Is that not true?
Well, first of all, there's the timelines for compliance.
Yeah.
At the moment, the most immediate community affected is going to be the providers of the big general purpose AI models, OpenAI, Anthropic.
Only above a certain...
Indeed. August, their compliance obligations start. Now then... Start.
Okay. So the process starts. And they don't have to have everything done yet, but they
have to start. Starting in August, they need to be compliant.
Oh, they need to be compliant. Okay, yeah.
1 year late, then that's one community, one population. Another population are those who are developing AI systems in high risk areas. High risk, and these are identified in the Act. Biometrics, critical infrastructures, administration of justice, migration. These categories,
they're called critical.
So they will have obligations starting in August 2026. And in February next year, we will be providing guidelines to help companies understand if they fall into the high-risk category, and if so, what their obligations will be. So guidelines are coming. They're not ready yet, but they're coming. We're consulting about how we should be classifying these high-risk systems. And then, there's an exception. If you're in a pre-regulated and already regulated sector, such as aviation,
banking, financial,
Well, there's a list of them, of these industrial areas that already have product safety regulations. Their AI regulation obligations kick in at 1 year again later, August 27. So there's a staggered timetable. And in advance of each of these milestones of compliance obligations, we will be providing clear guidelines and to innovators, to companies, to understand A, if they're impacted, and B, if so, what it means. So at the moment, our focus is on general purpose AI models.
The big guys.
The big guys, because their application is the first to come down the tracks.
Yeah. And what is their reaction? I mean, what I as a user noticed, this is not available in Europe. This is not available in Europe. This is not available in Europe. You know, all these new cool gadgets are not coming to Europe. VO3 from Google is not available in Europe. You know, just to give an example. That's what we see as users. Is that more just a PR thing that they start to defend themselves, saying, "Hey, we're going to take the public," or is there reason for these big models to be worried about the US by the EU Act?
I have no idea what motivated any such corporate decisions that would have been taken. What I know is we have the AI Act. We are very actively engaging with these companies. Let's take even the biggest ones. Yeah. For example, we have a code of practice working group. Big tech, big AI are members of this considerable code of practice working group that we facilitate, 1,000 members. And there is very active participation from some of the biggest big tech companies and big AI, if you wish.
They take it seriously.
And they're actively engaging in the structures we have put in place and helping shape the code that we look forward to using to implement and to enforce the AI Act. So they're engaging. They make corporate decisions, make announcements. I don't know. That's fine. Whatever they choose to do. What I care about and what we are doing on the code of practice front, they're engaging very constructively and with us.
So, from your personal point of view, as an engineer and somebody who worked in different fields, what is the quality of the regulation which comes out of Europe?
Well, I'll tell you this: it's imperfect. It's a compromise.
But I mean, I'm comparing more to Italian laws, French laws, Dutch laws, American laws. How good is the process in which all these different actors in Europe are playing together and talking to the actors involved to come up with regulation? What is your, except for imperfect, everybody's imperfect, but how good is it?
I think it is extremely inclusive, comprehensive machinery for creating regulations at an EU level. With the first proposal coming from the Commission, debated in the European Parliament, democratically elected across all member states, also debated and discussed in the European Council with the heads of government, heads of state. It's a very comprehensive machinery that is in place to deliver regulations on.
Yeah, they've done it before. They do it all the time. Yeah. But what is your personal experience of how good the quality is, which comes out of it? Is it pretty good? Is it okay? I mean, is it fantastic? What is the level?
I think what comes out of this machinery is fit for purpose.
Okay.
There'll be some imperfections, and that's why we're engaging with
those who are open. You're here. You're talking, and then, like you say, all of this group. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. We'll see. I mean, if it's a feature. I mean, I've also noticed that we also have MiCAR, which comes out of Europe, which I think is also pretty good regulation. It's implemented then in every country. There is the problem because, you know, we in the Netherlands have 10 people who are having to implement this whole law, and it's just like everybody has to wait. But we'll see if it's indeed a feature. You said that actually you've met people who are coming to Europe with their company because of the AI Act?
No, I haven't.
Because of the clarity?
I have not met them, but there's...
Well, you told a story about one of them.
There was a Parsol, a small startup founded in Florida in the AI game. And their CEO, they've raised money recently. Their CEO had an op-ed in the Irish Times outlining his motivations for why they decided to change their corporate headquarters from Florida to Dublin. Equally, 2 years ago, August 23, you had Poolside.ai, founded in Silicon Valley, and they moved their corporate headquarters to Paris. Okay. So and they're doing that because there's something attractive. There are merits.
About a clear act,
Well, in the first case, Parsol, the CEO, in the op-ed he wrote, he explicitly called that out as a key reason for that decision.
Yeah, okay. Last thing, okay, is we have the talent, we have a clear law, okay, and we have also public infrastructure. What everybody's complaining about is that there's so much money in Europe. We have such a big market, but And we have biggest pensions in the world. You know, like we in the Netherlands, we have like 1,700 billion euro. You know, twice the gross national product in pension. But it's really hard to fund the company here. The VCs are slow. The multiples are low. You get crushed when you don't do it well. It's really a huge difference between that America and Europe. Or is there anything you can say about that? What the European Commission is doing, or how we can change that? Is that more culture? Is that what is your take on that?
I'm not working in the specific initiatives on that front, but it is clear that certainly at the scale-up phase, after you've got secured, proper traction and footprint in the marketplace, it can be a challenge to raise money in Europe. There's initiatives underway. There's plenty of ideas. Mario Draghi's report on competitiveness that came out in September outlines a roadmap. It's still being discussed and debated, and there's stuff is happening. But you do sense a change. Like even just today, there was an op-ed in the Financial Times from an American investor talking about how she was a partner. Her company, her investment company, is actually seeing huge opportunities, strategic opportunities for investing here. It's great in American, but I'm sure over time we have a great chance that lots of European capital will grow in terms of its understanding and appreciation. Let's see.
Yeah.
But it's not something I've enough to keep me busy without being active in that game.
Well, I mean, we saw that OpenAI was offering and Meta was offering 100 million people, 100 million per person to come work for me. 100 million. They have too much money to basically throw around, which I don't think is going to be very successful. What I saw is that when you pitched to Europe and you were enthusiastic, everybody in the audience was cheering and clapping and loved your pitch for Europe. So thank you very much for repeating that before the camera. So make sure I'll put all the contact, all the details so you can follow the Commission and the links and all the discussions about the AI Act. And thanks very much for this talk.
Pleasure, Vincent. Thank you.